Welcome to Educator.com. This lesson is about the power of visual storytelling. In this lesson, we will be asking why visual storytelling. We will also be discussing genres of video content, which involves the types of video content and the goals of the video content. We will also be discussing and asking why defining goals is critical to creating effective films and videos. Let's begin. Why visual storytelling? This is a really important question for you interested in taking this course. The foundation of effective film and video content is visual storytelling. Film and video content is everywhere. Humans have been telling stories since the beginning of time, but visual storytelling has been around since ancient times. So it's how we communicate. It is how we understand ourselves, and that's why it's so important. Each of us living in our modern society consumes an inordinate amount of film and video content every day. So understanding the tools of how the media is created helps us to be better consumers or watchers of the content. So it empowers us in everything we do, not just as creators of the content, but also as someone watching the content. So film and video can be created for personal, professional, or social purposes. So it's all around us, but it's also in everything that we do, we're using it. So that's why visual storytelling is so important to understand. So before we get started, let's talk about the types of film and video content. So we kind of have lay of the land. So there's personal, which would include family videos, gathering of friends, life events. Okay, anytime you go out into the world and something's happening and you're videotaping, personal highlights caught on camera, even with your cell phone. It's also our personal travel videos, our video journals, and our video blogs. Other types of film and video content include educational videos, like the one right now. It's teacher and student presentations, videos that are lessons in the classroom or online, training videos for specific life or professional skills. Other types of video and film content include video games. So some of the imagery created for video games uses live action video or film content. There's more types of film and video content, which includes industrials. So industrials are videos created by a specific industry to be used within the company to educate or train its employees, or it can also be these types of videos that can be used to educate, train, or inform specific clients or company partners. So you can be using them for within the company or to use with partners or clients. So in an industrial, the audience is limited and specific. Types of film and video content also includes web content, moving images created for the web. So it can be any content created to be utilized by an organization, company, or individual as part of their website's visual platform. It could be the moving video image that is part of the banner or some other integral image on a page of the website. So when we talk about types of film and video content, we want to talk about content for distribution to a mass audience as one type of content. So we have got mass audience or more individual personal distribution. So when I talk about distribution for a mass audience, we're going to include any program intended for distribution in the movie theater, television, via cable, direct TV, video on demand, Netflix, streamed online, etc. So that's what we mean by mass audience. And so the goals for that are different. And so how we shape that type of content might also be different. Narrative films, also intended for mass audience. So feature length or short films, documentary films, feature length films, and short films. And then episodic television, narrative. And then miniseries, which would be a short episodic or serial television program. So more content for distribution to a mass audience includes commercials, public service announcements or PSAs. Could be a public service announcement about the environment, trying to explain, talk about climate change and trying to help people find different individual ways they can change their lives to help climate change. We also have for mass audiences documentary and reality television programs. We have game shows, award shows, variety shows, talk shows, news programs, of course, sports, and the list goes on, and it's always changing. Okay, so the goals of the moving image are related to where we're intending to distribute it, who is our audience, and how they're going to watch that content. So each time we pick up a camera and turn it on, there's a goal. When we think about these goals, we're also defining our audience as much as we are defining what type of content we are going to create. So goals and the type of content of a video program are intrinsically linked to the audience we are trying to reach. So knowing your goal, you need to know it, and you also need to know your audience. They're linked together. More about the goals of a moving image. So for example, if the goal is to educate and inform the public about a specific crisis in the environment, like pollution, then we need to decide if the audience is going to be adults, children, teens, people living in a specific region, etc. So we also need to define what type of content best meets our goal and reaches our audience. So maybe the type of content that best meets our goal, our needs, is a 15-second public service announcement or a feature film, a documentary film, or maybe it's a weekly half-hour television show that explores environmental issues in documentary form. This is how our goals and our audience and our type of content are all interlinked. There is a goal for the overall program, but what's important to keep in mind is that there's a goal for every and each shot. Every time we turn on the camera and we press the record button, there's a goal. And part of this course, we're going to talk about how to define those goals, and then how to meet those goals, how to make it happen. So there are many tools for how we're going to achieve our goals, but first we have to define for ourselves, and often for the people funding the project, why we are turning on the camera in the first place. Not just the overall, but also the shot-to-shot goal. Okay, so what could those goals be? There's lots of different goals of a moving image, shot-to-shot as well as overall. So, big important goal is to tell a story. To entertain. You may have both of those goals. To tell the story and to entertain is be part of your goal of the moving image. To inform. To educate. To express a feeling. To create a feeling in the audience, to express an idea. These are all goals of a moving image. So why defining the goals is important? So as film and video creators, there are many tools available to us in our tool chest. And I'm going to constantly refer to the filmmaker's tool chest. So this course will help you become familiar with the various tools filmmakers use to create their content. But first, identify the goal of why you're creating a program or why you're recording a shot. It is the first step to deciding which tools from your tool chest you will need to rely on. This will lead your decisions. So every film and video creator has the same tools in their tool chest. And this is really important to remember, because if you can understand the different tools, you learn how to use them, you actually are not more or less limited than any other filmmaker or videographer out there. Okay, so why defining goals is so important? One of the main reasons is that your resources, be it budget, time constraints, access to equipment, cast, crew, distribution opportunities, etc. Those are your resources, and they will factor into what type of content serves your goals best. You will have some limitations, and you'll also have some choices based on your resources. But don't despair. Remember, all the filmmakers and video makers out there have the same well, they don't have the same limitations, but they have limitations, and they're all the same in that they have the limitation. There's something that every filmmaker and videographer is limited by. So successful producers of video and film, they define a clear goal. That's the first thing they do. They determine their audience, and they create appropriate film and video content based on the resources that are available to them. That is really what separates the really creative, successful film and videographers over others. Okay, so finally, why defining goals is important. Please remember, every film and video maker has the same tools, and every film and video maker has limitations. So the really creative ones will find creative ways. That's where the concept of being creative, to use the tools that work to reach their goals within their limitations. And really, that's the fun part And that is the fun part of this course, is learning how to use the tools within the limitations. Thank you for watching Educator.com.